Hi guys.
Hello.
Two English teachers stuck in a house. We're going to continue our reading of Romeo and Juliet today. And we're going to start in Act 4. If you remember, the end of Act 3 is where Juliet tells the nurse she's going to go ask for forgiveness for fighting with her parents because her dad has just decreed that she will marry Paris, and Juliet sadly hears from the nurse that the nurse agrees with them and that Paris might be a better match for her. And with that being said, she decides to separate herself from the nurse and become secret unto herself. And she says she's going to like I said, to the fry to ask forgiveness for fighting with her parents, but she's really trying to go and find out a plan.
So it is later that morning after Romeo left, and we are in Friar Lawrence's cell, which is his room in the church. On Thursday, sir, the time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind? Uneven is the course. I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she do give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which too much minded by herself alone may be put from her by society. Now do you know the reason of this haste?
I would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady toward my cell.
Now my husband's going to be Paris.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be, shall be.
That's a certain text. Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
So will ye, I am sure, that you love me.
If I do so, it will be of more price, being spoke behind your back than to your face.
Poor soul, thy face is much abused with tears.
The tears have got small victory by that, for it was bad enough before their spite.
Thou wrong'st it more than tears than with that report.
That is no slander, sir, which is a truth, and what I spake it to my face.
Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
It may be so, for it is not mine own. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at even mass?
My leisure serve me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone. God shield, I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye, then adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
So that whole conversation was basically Juliet speaking in double entendre, I guess you would say. Like when she says, if I say I'll confess to you that I love him, she's really talking about Romeo. She loves Romeo, but of course nobody knows that but the friar. One of the things that Juliet is facing now is being married to two people at once, which is strictly against Catholic tradition, obviously, and so she's dealing with matters of her soul's forever resting in eternity, I guess.
And poor dumb Paris, he has done nothing wrong. He went through all the proper channels, got caught up in a crazy family. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to continue to read now that Paris is gone. It's just Juliet and the friar. Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me, past hope, past cure, past help.
Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. God joined my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands, and ere this hand by thee to Romeo's sealed shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another, this shall slay them both. She's holding a knife right now, and she's saying, if you can't figure this out, I'm going to use the hand that you had me hold Romeo's with to kill myself, and I'll solve all the problems. Therefore, out of thy long experienced time, give me some present counsel, or behold, twixt my extremes and this bloody knife shall play the umpire, arbitrating that which the commission of thy years and art can to no issue of true honor bring. Be not so long to speak, I long to die, if what thou speakest speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that it is desperate which we would prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then it is likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this time, that copest with death himself to escape from it. And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
So basically the friar says, look, if you have the strength to actually kill yourself, then you have the strength to do something that makes it look like you're dead. And he's going to share this in just a moment. Juliet says, oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of any tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, chain me with roaring bears, or hide me nightly in a charnel house, overcovered quite with dead men's rattling bones, with rinky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me to go into a new-made grave and hide me with a dead man in a shroud. Things that to hear them told have made me tremble, and I will do it without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then, go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not the nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial, being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fade to waning ashes. Thy eyes' windows fall, like death, when he shuts up the day of life. Each part, deprived of supple government, shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from this present shame. If no inconstant toy, nor womanish fear abate thy valor in acting it.
Give me, oh, tell me not to fear.
Hold, get you gone, be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua, with my letters to thy lord.
Love give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
So, Friar Lawrence goes, here's my plan. He's played with plants before, he knows how things work, and he has a vial with a potion in it. And Juliet will make sure she's alone that night, and she's going to drink it, and it'll make her appear like she's dead. It'll slow her breathing, it'll make her cheeks look ashy, and for 42 hours, right?
Yep.
She'll appear to be dead. And in the meantime, he'll get a letter to Romeo. Romeo will know what to do. They'll come and wake him up. They'll go off, and they'll go to Mantua, and they'll live happily ever after. Yeah, right.
Right. Well, in the plot diagram that we've been talking about, we have the climax when Romeo chooses to give in to his anger and get revenge or vengeance for Mercutio's death. And then right after that, he has the realization, and now everything's falling apart. Yet in the plot diagram of a tragedy, there's this little in the following action called the moment of final suspense. And it is when everything looks like it's going to work out.
Yeah.
When you think there is a moment of hope where maybe this will avoid the whole tragedy, and only Tybalt and Mercutio will be the ones who have died throughout
False
this.
close?
Well, I mean, it's called the moment of final suspense. So yeah, there you go.